Hi everyone, and welcome to Stamp with Angela. I'm Angela Palmer and I'm excited to be here with you today for today's Facebook Live and YouTube Live. So quickly checking, and it looks like we are live to both Facebook and YouTube. Yay! Hopefully you can hear me, so please let me know if all is good with sound and things, and we will get started. So for those that haven't met me before, I'm Angela Palmer and I'm based on the North Shore in Auckland, and I've been a demonstrator for over 13 years now. And I love what I do, and each Thursday at 1:30 New Zealand time, I come to you live and share some ideas and inspiration to help you with your crafting. So I hope you get some new ideas and things from what I do. So appreciate you being here. Now, I know being early afternoon, not everyone can join live, and many of you watch the recording. So I appreciate you doing that later on. And if you are watching later or now, please comment, let me know you're here, where you're from. We'd love to have you join us. So hi, Elizabeth, appreciate you being here. I'm assuming that everyone can hear okay. Joe's here as well. Excellent. Yay, all good. Woohoo. It's always fun. Sometimes we have technical errors and sometimes it's great. So it looks like it's all good today. All right, so I've had a busy few days. Last Saturday we had Extravaganza, which is our event we have 3 times a year. It's not just me, it's myself with other members of the Creative Inkers team. So put on by my team leader, Jackie. And there's a few demonstrators of us that work together and put on this event, a kind of all-day event from 10 a.m. till 3. And we had lots of people come to that, which was wonderful, making 5 different cards. It was Christmas themed, but they learned techniques and things along the way. So that was Saturday. Then being November now, the beginning of the month, Tuesday morning, I had coffee and cards. So we had 2 sessions of that on Tuesday. Slightly smaller numbers this month. I think people had appointments or sickness or whatever, which is a bit of a shame, but appreciate those that could make it. And then I had coffee and cards again this morning, a few lovely ladies. So it's been, over the last week, a busy week of crafting. So, and now coming to you live with this Facebook, YouTube Live. So it's great to see some of you on YouTube, some of you are on Facebook. Excellent. If you are on YouTube, then feel free to subscribe and follow me and things and click on the notification so you'll get notified of future videos too. All right, so I've welcomed a few more people, Natalie, Jocelyn, and anyone else. Thank you for joining me today. So today I'm going to share with you the Brushed with Beauty suite. So this is an online exclusive that came out on Tuesday, and it's an exciting new suite. So you won't see it in a catalog. It is in the online store, but you can order it, at any, as you would normally through your demonstrator like me, or online yourself. But I'll show you this cool suite, and then we'll get started and make today's card. All right. So here is my craft table. So lots of goodies here. So it's called the Brushed with Beauty suite, and we've got some designer series paper here. Now this is not all of it because I have used some of it, but you'll see obviously the flowery patterns, the colors we've used. Can you kind of guess what colors that we're using here? And there's also a couple of other patterns which are pretty much used up. There's a nice leafy one which I've either left in the other room. Oh, here it is. I love this one. And then the one that I've got in today's sample, I've pretty much used up that sheet as well. But some flower patterns. I mean, if you look at this, obviously that looks quite busy and very full on. But, use small parts in a card or other things on a scrapbook page. It's all very good. So we've got sort of these flowery patterns. I'll show you these ones first. Flowery leaf patterns, and then when you flip it over, it's more monochromatic patterns designed. So if you guess what colors we've used, anyone know what color this is here? This is your Basic Beige. We've got some Mossy Meadow. We've got some Calypso Coral. We have some, let's go back to the other side, yellow, which is Darling Duckling. And I'm just trying, oh, here it is. So if we forget, we can look at the card that comes with it. So we've got the green, we've got the Mossy Meadow. We've also got Early Espresso. You can't see that quite so much, but it is in here you can see Early Espresso. We've got a little bit of Lost Lagoon. So if you look at those touches of blue, Lost Lagoon there, a bit of Old Olive, so a couple of contrasts of green, particularly, where is that Old Olive? A bit hard to see. And Secret Sea, so that very dark blue color as well. So that's what we've used. So the colors I'm focusing on today are more my Basic Beige, my no, not Missy Meadow, my Calypso Coral, and Basic Beige, Early Espresso, Calypso Coral. They're the main ones, and I might show you a sample with some Darling Duckling. All right, so that is the papers. Now the suite comes with like stamps and dies. So there are two sets with this. So we've got one that's more word focused and one that's more images. So we've got Words of Beauty dies, which is this one here. And these are the Words of Beauty stamp sets. So you'll see how we've got the big Just Because, and then we've got some smaller one here and some dies. So if you check out these dies, you'll see how they cut them out and some of the smaller, bigger ones or whatever, which are great. And then you've got some words, and you can layer that up with like a shadow behind it. Now you may have noticed that these are different cases to what we've had before. It's not like the DVD cases anymore. So going forward, new stamps that or dies that come out will be in this form. So it is a little bit different. It will take a bit of getting used to. I'm used to looking at the spine of my DVD cases, so I'll miss that. But the good thing about these is they are very narrow. So we can, store more of them. So rather than looking at the side, I'm just going to have them standing forward, and I'll have to flip through to find them. And both the stamps, whoops, there goes my camera. Both the stamps and the die sets are the same size, as you can see. And they're only going to be photopolymer, no red rubber, because that's getting harder to source these days. So we've got this. This is called Words of Beauty. And then we've got a stamp set here called Petals of Beauty. So the whole theme of this is beauty. And this is where we've got images, and then we've got dies as well. So they're the images. And then some of these will cut out some of these, and then some of them are extra die cuts. So I'm focusing on using the paper and the words. And then there's an embossing folder. This is called Beautiful Pattern. It's quite a subtle pattern. Hopefully when I use it, you'll see it. And then we've also got these Pearls of Beauty. Yes, Pearls of Beauty, which is like sort of a whitey creamy color. I think it's more white. Calypso Coral, and then I'd probably say Basic Beige. So you can see I've used lots of those as well. So that is the suite, the paper, the embossing folder, the embellishments, a word, stamp and dies, and then the images, stamps and dies in the new cases. So that's all exciting. Right, so I'll show you today's card and what we're going to do, and we will get started. So it's a fairly basic design, whether you've got this particular set or not. I encourage you to give the card itself a go. I'm just going to move my camera a little bit closer if I can without sort of spoiling things a bit much. Or don't know if that's going to work. Okay, there we go. Hopefully that's okay. Straighten things up. So you could use this design with completely different colors, completely different papers, but here it focuses on the Designer Series paper, the Brushed with Beauty paper, the very subtle embossing folder. You can see that pattern, and then I've used the words and dies and some nice gold ribbon. All right, so let's get started, and I'll show you how I have made it. So I've gone for the Early Espresso card base. Whoops, my screen has disappeared. Hopefully you guys haven't. What's happened? There we go. It's only just something popped up in the way, but whoops, you're still here. Excellent. So Early Espresso base, I wondered about having this in the foreground, but I felt it was quite light. So then I opted for just the Basic Beige in the background, and then some Early Espresso, Calypso Coral, sorry. Calypso Coral there. I'm going to use a different paper this time. So this one is more the Basic Beige. And I'm going for a slightly narrower piece. You can tell me what you like. And then we've got our sentiment ribbon and embellishments. So let's get started. My card base is the standard size, 21 centimeters by 14.85, scored at 10.5. I've gone with my first layer, just the standard size, 10.5 by 14.3. Sometimes I have a wider border, sometimes a narrow one. This one I just wanted a subtle border. So I've just gone 3 millimeters less, and I've gone to 9.7 centimeters by 14 centimeters. So that's for my embossed layer. Then for this, depending if you want it wide or not, this is 4.5 centimeters by 12, and then this is 3 millimeters less. So that means the designer series paper would be 11.7 by 4.2 centimeters. All right. Now, if you work in inches, you can adjust it and things, and then we need a bit of scrap and things for stamping our sentiment. So pretty straightforward. I put my piece of cardstock into the embossing folder. Now remember, where the Stampin' Up is the right way up. So putting it in, lining it up so it's nice and straight, and putting it through my machine. I mean, because it's a 3D embossing folder, I would be using my base plate, which is number 1, this, and then putting the specialty plate number 4 on the top. But I've pre-done it just to save time. And yeah, just putting it together. So it's a fairly quick and easy card, particularly if you've got things cut ready to go. Is my glue going to work? Yes. So I'm going to glue this down like so. So I find with the designer series paper, you know, because of the patterns, I didn't want it to be too much of the foreground, but sort of an accent. So we're letting the pattern show as well, subtly in the background. And then I'm going to adhere this onto my card front. So I challenge you, use this pattern, this layout. You find some designer series paper that you've got and make up the card design and then share it with me. So if you're wondering about colors, have a look at what colors are in your paper and what kind of works well, and then go from there. All right, so that's that. Then I'm going to adhere this down, and I just like to give it a border because then it helps it to stand out. All right. So this one is a little bit narrower than that. Okay, what do you prefer? So I'm going to put this on with dimensionals, and I like to use the edge of my dimensionals to make sure I get my money's worth and use them all up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I do sort of put 1 or 2 in the middle just to stop it from sagging. I'm literally using up all the bits, and then I'm going to use the end of my take your pick tool to lift off the covers. I don't have any nails. I play the piano and I recently cut them, so they are a bit short for pulling things off. Now, I don't know if you noticed the last couple of weeks, I didn't actually have my rings on, which I found a bit hard to do for a couple of weeks. I had to get them resized. So I'd keep going to, you know, fiddle with them as I do, and they're like, they're not there. So I don't know if you noticed in the lives, but yes, I'm still happily married. I just had to get them resized, so they're back again now. So that's nice. Okay, so that's kind of our focal point. Now, a couple of tips on what I did with the happy birthday. So I'm going to get a scrap of white. Oh, we got some new comments, so let me have a look. More people joining us. Excellent. Oh, lots today. Brilliant. It's very hot in Christchurch, I hear. It's actually quite hot here in Auckland too. The weather the last couple of days seems to have suddenly heated up. So, all right. So I'm going to use the It's Your Birthday, and I'm just going to stamp it on a scrap piece of white. Then I'm going to use one of those dies. So because it's a long, thin one, I'm going to use this. So I've got a little piece of, what do we call it? Removable tape, just to hold it in place. And I'm going to put that on and put that through my machine. So to cut this one, we are going to use a different combination of plates than what I used before. So we are going to use a 1, a 2, and a 3. You can see my 3 is well used. And then we'll put our die cut down, and then we'll put another 3 on top. So let me do that, and you'll see it come out the other end. There we go. So I like my die cutting machine, one of my favorite tools. I think the one I use the most is probably my trimmer. And then this would be another well-used tool. If I want quick and easy cards, then sometimes I may not die cut. But yeah, if we want to add to it, oh, it's not quite centered, but that's okay. All right. Now, a couple of options here. Did I stick that on? Yes, I did. So you could put this in like this. And we're going to raise the side, but not that. And we're going to put some ribbon behind it. There was no, well, not that I'm aware of, no specific ribbon with this particular suite. So I went for the gold option just to sort of add to it. Might need to trim that a bit, kind of like that. And then I added some embellishments. So you could leave it white. You could... I thought I had one pre-done. Let me have a look. Yes, I do. We'll use this one. You could get your ink pad and very carefully, without scraping it, you could tap it in just gently, because we don't want to damage it, on all the edges. Added a bit of colour very gently, and that will kind of just highlight the edges and frame it slightly. And oops, now I've got it on my finger. Let's do the top a bit more. All right, so I don't know if you can see that, but it's got a slight border around it now. Just going to do that again slightly on this angle so it shows at the top. There we go. So we could do that. Do you like that? So that's it with a slight border. This is it just plain white. Okay. Now you'll notice on mine, I've got a border around it. That is the Early Espresso. So if you're wondering how I did that, I shall show you. So I've cut another one of these, and I'm going to trim that in half. You could use scissors, or I've got a little guillotine here. And I'm just going to trim it in half. It's quite hard to do. It's quite narrow. So just cut it in half somehow. Now, it's not very wide. So what we're going to do is basically adhere some to the top and have it just showing at the top and some to the bottom. Now, there's, like I said, there's not much to glue, so I'm actually going to use tape this time. So I'm going to turn it over and basically cover the whole thing with tape. Definitely close to the top and then definitely close to the bottom, so it might overlap a little bit. I use my Take Your Pick tool to pull that layer off as well. Oops, there's a bit messy at the end, but we'll tidy that up. Again, we use this and pull that off. All right, so now the whole thing is sticky, and I'm going to carefully line it up and stick it on like so. Is that even? Slightly more that side than the other side, but I think we are pretty good. And then we're going to do the bottom as best we can, like so. Now I might just trim those off a bit. Now these are my paper scissors, not my ribbon scissors. There we go. So I didn't actually do the ends. I don't know if you noticed or not, but that's okay. So you could leave it white. I do quite like to frame things, so this is what I've done. If it's a punch, you can do the same kind of thing. Punch another one and cut it in half and then add it on. This is obviously quite narrow. I'm going to use some more tape to put my ribbon on the back, but I want my ribbon mostly on that right side. So over here. And I want it to slant to the right. So when you flip it over, let me just think about this before I take the back off. So I want it like that. angled like so. So when I do it, I want it going down to the bottom. All right, so let's just check if we do it there, kind of like that, because I want it on this side, not under the picture. Okay, so let's keep it there, pull this off. Oh, I did manage without my nails. Let's do it again. Stick it down. Trim it if we need to. That's pretty good. And put on some dimensionals. So I'm only putting dimensionals on this side because this side is already raised. So let's do, I'm going to put that over my ribbon and put it maybe about there. I don't want the tails to hang down too low, but I mean, you could do it up high. I think it needs to be down the bottom, and a bit of adhesive, or you could do tape. But it is a little bit sticky, but just to make it stick. All right, how's that? I'm going to lift it up just to make sure it's hopefully straight. If I feel those tails are a bit long, I can just trim them slightly using my ribbon scissors. Here we go. How's that? Whoops, that's moved. Let's just line it up again. There we are. So I have my ribbon scissors with this on it, so I use them only for ribbon, and that way they stay sharp for cutting material and things. It stands out more being matted. Yes, it does. Yeah, a slight border is great. Yes, this is true. Okay, now to finish it off, we need some of our embellishments. Always nice to give it a bit of a sparkle. Where have I put them? Moved everything to the side, and I have buried them. You saw them earlier, right? They cannot have gone far. Yep, they're between the stamps and dies. Okay, so I don't really want this color because, you know, it'll get lost. We have got white. What do you reckon? White or beige? What do you think? Let's just, if they were white, it would be that, because there's white here. I mainly use beige. That's got a lot of beige. Maybe I should have gone white for that one because there's a bit more white. What are your thoughts? White or beige? Let's see. And I'm going to put one, two, maybe one there, not if it's white, or one here or something like that, in that kind of triangle sort of shape. Looks lovely. Thank you. Fairly simple card, but I wanted to show some of the features of the Brush with Beauty set. Any thoughts on what color? I won't go for Calypso Coral. Do you want white or do you want Basic Beige? That is the question. I'll give you a moment to answer. I have a beige. Any more advances on beige? Giving you a moment because it's a slight delay from when I talk for when you see it. So giving you a moment to decide. And then I'll just show you another option. Looks like Elizabeth, no one else is commenting. We'll go with you. Let's go with the beige. So we're going to do different size dots as well, which is quite good. And since we're going to beige, we might put one down here as well. And it's that kind of triangle sort of thing. How's that? Whoops, we're moving. Oh, people say white. Too slow. Oh, dear. Now I've got people saying white. Thanks, Karen and Joe. Oh, dear. Let's just hold one over and see what it would look like. White. Quite nice. I could swap it around. White, white. We've got two whites and one beige now. Yeah. There we go. Any advances on that? Got to be quick when you answer. All right. I'll leave it now, but there we go. So I did wonder about, oh, thank you. People say it looks beautiful. Simple design. So challenge you. Have a go at making it. So just think of the base as your standard colors. Which do you prefer, the narrow or the wider? So this one is, the matte is 4.5 by 12, and then just make it a tiny bit shorter than that. That's probably the only measurement you need. I wondered about the yellow, but I felt if I had yellow there, it would be too much. So I thought we could matte with the yellow, the Darling Duckling. So I haven't put it together, but this was what I just had a little play with before, like that. Sort of like that. And then let's try that sort of thing. Maybe we'll keep that one as a white. So it looks quite different in different colors, particularly with the light behind. Yeah, I agree. I think the narrow looks better. I think that was too wide. But there you go. And then we would probably need to add beige to this one too. Lots of beige. Maybe I'll switch them over and see how it looks. Yeah, I think the narrow is good as well. So remember, this was 4.5 centimeters by 12. And then make the next layer a little bit less, and then add some ribbon and things too. So there you go. That's today's card. Who's going to make one and share it? You can, I'm not sure if you can post on my page yourself. Otherwise, send me photos. I'd love to see them, and then I can always share yours as well. So think about what you want to use for your embossed background, which designer series paper you'd like to use. So remember, this is the Brushed with Beauty suite. Those wonderful papers here. And I'd like to try that design with this one too. I think that would look nice, maybe with a bit of mossy meadow. So all sorts of possibilities there. I probably need to change it up and make, you know, a thank you card or something, not just it's your birthday. We've got the 2 stamp sets and 2 die sets that are part of this suite. We've got our images with the petals of beauty, and we've got the words of beauty for the dies, which is cool. We've got our pearls of beauty, and we've got our beautifully patterned embossing folder. So you can get the whole suite in one go, and that makes it, you know, easier for ordering. Now, Stampin' Up have released a class using this suite. Now, obviously, I do some classes in person, and from time to time, I do some online things. But they are doing a class which you can purchase, and then it will be shown live, and then you can watch the recording later. I think it's about 4 projects. The class is just the class. You need to buy the suite yourself. And I believe the class is $63. So if you're interested in checking that out, there's something new that Stampin' Up are doing each month. They're having a particular product of the month. Well, not a product they're featuring and doing a class with. So last month was the Christmas Tiding. Oh, was it? Traditions of Christmas was one of the suites. That's why it was so popular. All right, let's come back to me. There we go. Let's try and be a little bit more centered. There we are. So yes, so if you like this particular suite and you want to get hold of it, you can order online yourself. Oh, I'm pointing to it, but you can't see it because the camera's there. But if you would like the suite that I just showed you, you can order online or contact me and I can help you with your order. But even if you don't have that suite, I'd love to challenge you to have a go of that card layout. Oh, now I forgot to show you a couple of things. So at my class last month, so October, I made a couple of fun fold cards using this. Now, it's not an original idea. It was cased from a lady in America, I believe, Susan Campfield. But I adjust it to make it work for our A4 size cards. So this is the card here. So it kind of looks like a standard card, but it opens like this and like this. So you'll see the embossing folder, but it's an easel card kind of thing. And it stands up like so. Can you see that? Whoops, it's not going to. So it stands up like this. All right, so that's pretty cool. And on the back is where you can write your message. So it folds flat. So this is not an original idea. This is a Susan Campfield idea. And it's showing that paper, which you can see is one that I really liked. And then it opens up, and then you can stand it up and display it. And then the message is still, you know, nice on the back. So that was a Calypso Coral version. And this was the other paper that I used, which is the leaf one. And this is a Mossy Meadow with Early Espresso. Same thing, flip it open like that and like that. Okay, and on the back, you've got a message. So you'll see I have used the stamps for this one. So I've used a couple of the images from this particular Petals of Beauty stamp set as well. All right, so Susan Campfield has made this. She has a tutorial available, but it is in Imperial and it fits the American size cardstock. So I might reach out to her and see if it's okay to make my tutorials available in the metric, but I'll have, no, sorry, yes, a metric, but I'll have to check that out and come back to you if you are interested. Can you use any paper in any color? So yeah, so I hope you like this particular card, which is a little bit of a fun fold using this paper. So Elizabeth asked a question about this one here. So encouraging you to make it yourself. Yes, any color you like. So look at what paper you got and what colors are in the paper, and then use the card base to match. So use whatever you like. So basically start with the paper first, find what you want to use, and then work out an embossing folder, what colors coordinate, and then make your cards. And I'd love to see what you do. Now, you may not have a sentiment like this. You may want to make it a punch, an oval punch or a hexagon punch or something else, or just cut a banner. That's totally fine. You just make it work for you. There's no right or wrong. It's just, it's just a starting point, and you can adapt as you like. Cool. All right, back to me again. So thank you for watching today. I really appreciate it. So the beginning of the month, November, means online exclusives and new products. So one of those is obviously the Brushed with Beauty suite. There are other suites and other products as well. So go to the Stampin' Up store. I'll share a link and check out what other online exclusive products have come out. The beginning of the month, there's also a couple of new kits. There's a lovely blue and white kit. Well, it's got blues in it, but yeah, there's a couple of lovely new kits there that you might like to check out too. So if you're not on my mailing list, encourage you to sign up. Then you'll be receive exclusive tutorials, information about what's new, that kind of thing, any classes I do. So if you haven't subscribed, I encourage you to sign up. You'll get a free tutorial when you sign up as well, and you'll get the 12 weeks of Christmas. And today's one will be going out soon. I just need to double check some imperial measurements, and then I'll be sending that out. So keep an eye on your inbox in the next couple of hours for the 12 weeks of Christmas. And if you haven't subscribed, then do so soon, and you will we're up to week 6, so nearly halfway. So sign up, and then you'll get the rest. Awesome. Any questions? I appreciate you joining me today. If you've got any techniques or ideas that you'd like me to share about, then please let me know. I know someone's asked about the color wheel, and I will do that at some stage. I need to find my color wheel. I need to do a bit of sorting of my crafting area. But if there's any other things that you would like me to show or whatever, sometimes it's more appropriate for a class, but sometimes it could be for this live. So let me know. So appreciate you supporting me. Thank you for watching. Look forward to seeing you again next week. And please comment, please subscribe. And thanks very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. So thank you so much. We'll see you again soon. Bye.